morning, students. We're going to look at concept vocabulary and word study from the Life of Pi and the poetry collection. So, the words from the Life of Pi are irresolvable, predatory, and adversary. In each of the following items, think about the meaning of the italicized word, then answer the question. Now, please remember, if you are unsure of the word, you have several options. Look in the margin of your book and use context clues, or you may right click, scroll to define irresolvable, and you will have Google define the word for you. Okay? Okay, so let's look at question number one. Question number one. How easy is it to resolve an irresolvable problem? Okay, explain. Okay. An irresolvable problem is not able to be resolved. That's pretty self explanatory. Okay, so let's look at word study. The Latin suffixes -ory and -ary mean of or having to do with. Add the suffix to the word to create a new word. You may have to add or subtract a letter. Then use the new word in a sentence. Now, I want you to be careful with word study here, because what a lot of kids did the last time you had a concept vocabulary and word study is you use the word incorrectly or you spell the word incorrectly. So you need to make sure that you use the word correctly. So let's look at customary. When Vivian got married, her father took her down the aisle. For it is customary for the father to give his daughter to her new husband. Okay, customary. Okay, please be careful. Use the word honorary and sensory correctly and make sure that you spell them correctly. Okay, now we're going to look at concept vocabulary and word study from the Life of Pi, and the word is treasure, iridescent, and luminous. In each of the following items, think of the meaning of the italicized word or phrase and then answer the question. Would someone throw away an object that they treasure? Explain. No. If someone treasures an object, that object is precious to that person. Let's look at word study. The Latin root lum means light. Rewrite each sentence, replacing the underlined section of the sentence with a word from the word list. Lumines, illuminated, luminary, luminous. You can't measure the amount of light given off by a source with a light meter. You cannot measure lumines with a light meter. Let's look at number 4. Robbie's pants were such a bright color of hot pink, I almost put on my sunglasses. Oh, God. Robbie's pants were such a luminous color of pink, I almost put on my sunglasses. Okay, students, I want you to finish concept, word, and vocabulary. Please make sure that you answer these questions together. If you need any help or any assistance, please remember that I'm here. Okay, next, students, what we will now do is we will look at conventions, lesson 8.4, participles versus absolute phrases. A participle is a form of a verb used as an adjective. Participles often end with ed as in canned or ing as in flying. The canned water was running out. The flying fish fell into the boat. A participle phrase is a participle and its modifiers, objects, or complements. The fish tugging on the line was a giant Dorado. Worried about food, Pi read the manual on how to fish. Catching the ball quickly, Sam helped make a double play. An absolute phrase is a noun or a noun phrase modified by a participle or participle phrase. An absolute phrase modifies an entire clause instead of just a noun or pronoun within a clause. It is always set off from the clause by a comma. The line having broken, Pi began to despair. Pi bundled up as much as he could, the night being cold and rainy. Modifier, everyone's. Noun, pencils. Having been sharpened is the participle. Everyone's pencil sharpened. We were ready to take out the test. Using the participle phrase in each sentence, Underline the participle phrase in each sentence, then highlight the noun each participle phrase modifies. Here's an example. Has everyone kept a record of all the money spent on the project? Okay, guys, I want you to answer questions number 1, question number 2, question number 3, and question number 4. Okay, please go back up to the top and look up what a participle is and a participle phrase before you begin answering the questions. Okay, let's look at the directions. Write a sentence using each of the absolute phrases. My arm's aching. The dead animal started to rot. The fish sailing through the air. Robert Parker staring intently. Now, one more thing I want to admonish to you right now. Please remember what an absolute phrase is. It is set off with a comma. It is a noun or a noun phrase, and it modifies an entire clause. I got the booster shot and the flu shot Saturday evening. My arm's aching. Okay, so please be careful. Please give me sentences for 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's look at this part. Underline the participle in each sentence from the life of Pi, then identify each phrase through highlighting as a participle phrase or as an absolute phrase. Okay, students, so let's remember a few things first. Remember that a participle phrase is a participle. It is a form of a verb used as an adjective, and a participle phrase consists of a participle and its modifiers, its objects, and its complements. Please remember that an absolute phrase is set off with a comma. It is a noun or a noun phrase and it modifies an entire clause. So let's look at question number 1. Question number 1, tears flowing down my cheeks. I egged myself on. That is an absolute phrase. Why is it an absolute phrase? First off, it's set off with a comma and it modifies an entire clause. So please complete all of Conventions 8.4. If you need my help, I'm here. Bye-bye.